the staff or management of Radio Hotties. The content broadcast on this show is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only.
जब हमारे परिवार के बुजुर्गों की सेहत और देखभाल की बात होती है तो घर पर इन होम केयर वाला ऑप्शन सबसे बढ़िया है। अनलॉक का पेस प्रोग्राम एक ऐसा कन्वीनियंट एंड पर्सनलाइज्ड ऑप्शन है जिसके जरिए हमारे बुजुर्ग घर पर हमारे साथ रहकर यही देखभाल और सेवा का लाभ उठा सकते हैं। अब चाहे वो घर पर रहे या अनलॉक वाले पेस सेंटर में आए, उनको वही डेडिकेटेड एंड प्रोफेशनल केयर मिलेगी। अनलॉक ने बुजुर्गों की सेहत को अपना प्रायोरिटी बना लिया है। और जानने के लिए 1855-308-0195 पे कॉल करें। That's 1855-308-0195. Join us as we honor one of the most celebrated holidays in Indian culture on Saturday, November 6th at the Children's Discovery Museum. Ji haan, it's a happy Diwali. While at the museum, you can discover the meaning and the traditions of Diwali, take in the beautiful artistry of a brilliantly colored rangoli, as well as make your own diya and have fun finding your rhythm while watching and learning the Bollywood dance moves. Children's Discovery Museum invites you all to have a happy Diwali this Saturday, November 6th.
सत श्री अकाल, की हो रहा है? मैं सूर्यवंशी अक्षय कुमार, टीम सूर्यवंशी की तरफ से दिवाली की ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। Watch my film Suryavanshi with your family on November 5th. I'd like to wish a very, very happy Diwali to all the listeners of Radio The Hotties.
Morning Bay!
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good
morning, Bay.
आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार,
वनकम,
नमस्कार,
खुशामदीद,
सलामकुम,
सत श्री अकाल,
అందరికీ వందనము,
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण,
जय जिनेंद्र।
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं याली मदद,
मौला अली मदद बोलते हैं सारे फीजिए मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा बुला बनजान। हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारा। मैं फालतू बाबा
and of course myself फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और drive time show that's gonna make it totally exciting and totally mastani. It's Friday, it's Friday, it's your day, your day. It's my day. It's Friday. Woohoo!
Yes, but it is a Friday, and of course tomorrow is the Saturday. It's a weekend actually. Many of us actually, some of the people, some families, some cultures in India actually celebrate Diwali for more than one day. So it goes to a 5-day Diwali celebration. So everybody out there, wish you guys a very happy Diwali anyways. But or season's greetings kah sakte hain. But if you want to wish any of your friends who are of the Indian culture, you can just say season's greetings to them, because all through the 5 days there's going to be some celebration going on in their houses. Well, first of all, aapko yaad dila dein, 5th November 5th and Suryavanshi, the movie, not the series on television, is going to be on in the theaters today. But it's actually, I don't know if you noticed, but we've been promoting for the past 2 weeks right now.
Right.
And the theaters, Falvani, are packed.
Yeah, it's sold out.
It's all sold out. But the opening day has been sold out. Yeah, बाद में देखा जाएगा what happens. But right now, our job was to make sure the theaters are packed, and they're packed right now. And thank you, Bandhu. So hopefully we'll be seeing you at the theaters. If you happen to see us, one group actually going, yeah, woo, wah, shh, all the stuff and all, and the movie is nice, we'll go, yeah, wow. If it's not nice, we'll go, ooh. But that kind of group will be our group. So definitely make sure you can say hello to us. Our Bandhus also joining us. We actually opened it up for our Bandhus to join us, and some of them are actually joining us. We're going to have a wonderful time in the evening. Which showing are we going to go to? Which theater? It's going to be a suspense. Look for us. You find us. Mm-hmm. If you find us, you're going to get something special from us for sure, Bandujan. So go around asking, are you Altu Faltu? Are you Altu Faltu? Are you Altu Faltu? Because if you do, you will find us, you'll get something special from us. That's a promise from my end. But abhi ke liye just time for us to go and take a look at what's happening on the roads. I know, Raste ka haal total aapko milega saste mein right here on the network, Radio Hotties, which is live and online right now, Bandujan.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
Let's start with the weather. It's not going to rain today. It's going to be cloudy. A little bit of sun out there, but of course, it's going to get cloudy again. It's going to be cloudy all of the weekend, I should say. A little bit of sun here and there, but no rain. So that way you're comfortable. You don't have to worry about the fact that you got to carry a raincoat. But definitely layer up is what I would say, because temperature is somewhere in the mid-60s right now. So it might be cold. And traffic-wise, all the freeways look nice and neat and clean. At least my reporting what's on my screen is what I can tell you. Disabled vehicle reported on 580 eastbound west of Fairmont Drive in San Leandro. Only one which is actually, well, it's not even causing traffic backup or whatever. Just a report of a traffic of a vehicle there. San Francisco looking congested, but what's new about that, you'd say, right? And a lot of construction work happening on the El Camino side, Banjan. So watch out, drive very carefully. Remember, cone zones. Yeah, where there's a cone, if there's an incident there, the fines could actually double up as well. So watch out for that. Be very, very, very careful, Bancham. And that was an update of what's happening on the roads and also the weather part of it. But right now, Fatwani, it's time for us to go into the next part of our program, which is the news updates. Are you ready for that?
That's right. Yes, of course I am.
Take it away, Fatwani.
Well, Banjan, good news for everybody who's got family back home in India who is stuck there. The flights have reopened. One of our Asian American, that is Indian American lady called Bhavna Patel, who has watched her first grandchild grow via FaceTime, talking to him in New York every day while the U.S. travel restrictions prevented her from making her own trip. On Monday, she was threatening to dance down the aisle of British Airways, apparently, because they will finally take her to meet him. And as the United States lifts COVID-19 restrictions that have barred much of the world from entering for over 20 months, even that is opening up. So people are really excited. Flights are opening up from across the world, and people are looking to join their family that they have been separated from during this entire, 1.5 years? A little over that. A former USC athletic official is going to be pleading guilty in a U.S. college admissions scandal for participating in a vast fraud and bribery scheme for wealthy parents' children to gain admission to college as fake sports recruits. Donna Heinel had been slated to face a federal jury in Boston later this month in the second trial to arise from the U.S. college admissions scandal. She instead will plead guilty to honest services via fraud. And also, that's what prosecutors are saying today. Prosecutors allege that she accepted bribes from a California college admissions consultant who masterminded the scheme, William Rick Singer, in exchange for designating his clients' children as athletic recruits. In other news, Republican governors lead attack on Biden vaccine mandate right now, Banajan. For those of you who are familiar, in Texas, there was a anti-mandate vaccine that the Texas governor led. So now Republican governors have started filing lawsuits on Friday to stop the Biden administration's requirement that nearly 2 million U.S. employers get workers tested or vaccinated for COVID-19, saying that it tramples civil liberties. After President Joe Biden, a Democrat, said on Thursday he will enforce the mandate starting Jan 4th, the states of Florida, Georgia, and Alabama jointly sued in the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta. Virginia's loss, the Democratic loss in Virginia, is making the Democrats sit up and think a little bit about the uncertainty of the Biden agenda. The political rebuke voters delivered to Democrats in Virginia has not given the White House second thoughts about President Joe Biden's ambitious policy agenda, but is making some Democrats in swing states nervous. Since the Republican victory in the Virginia's governor's race on Tuesday, the White House message to Democrats facing competitive elections has been simple: pass the social spending and infrastructure bill soon, or face defeat in the more consequential battle to keep control of the House of Representatives, and the Senate in 2022, according to administration officials and allied Democrats. Voters are upset and uncertain, Biden said on Wednesday when asked about the Virginia result. In fact, the Democratic congressional leaders are seeking to pass a $1.75 trillion budget bill and a $1 trillion infrastructure bill this week. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi answered no when a reporter asked whether the Virginia outcome would cause her to throttle back on Biden's Build Back Better legislation. Also, a request by moderate Democrats in the U.S. House of Reps to see a nonpartisan estimate of the cost of President Joe Biden's $1.75 trillion social policy and climate change bill held up a potential vote on the bill on Friday. The Democratic leadership of Congress wants to close out a week in which the party suffered embarrassing losses in state elections with a vote on that sweeping legislation and another approved in a bipartisan Senate vote in August to invest $1 trillion in rebuilding the nation's infrastructure. Weeks of bickering between moderate and progressive Democrats have held up the bills. Biden on Friday, for the first time publicly, called on the House to vote on the bills today. I'm asking every House member of the House of Reps, to vote yes on both these bills right now, the Democratic president said. Also, Banajan, if you remember, last year, the Black Lives Matter movement was also, really charged because of the death of a man called Ahmaud Arbery. Well, now, 5,000-pound lethal weapon was used, apparently, to try to kill him. How is that? The court hears how a truck was used to try to hit him. One of the three men charged with murdering Ahmaud Arbery tried to hit the man repeatedly with his pickup truck as he attempted to force the black jogger to stop during a chase through a mostly white neighborhood in southern Georgia, jurors heard on Friday. Gregory McMichael, 65, and his son Travis McMichael, who was 35, and neighbor William Roddy Brown, who was 52, have pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, aggravated assault, and false imprisonment for shooting Arbery dead in Feb 2020. They said they thought Arbery might have been fleeing a crime and were trying to detain him. Brian tried to hit Arbery 4 times with his truck as he attempted to force him off the road into a ditch in a suburb just outside the coastal city of Brunswick, prosecutor Linda Dunikowski said in her opening statement. At one point, Brian got so close that they found Arbery's handprint and fibers from his white t-shirt on the truck, she told the court. Dunikowski repeatedly called the truck a 5,000-pound lethal weapon that was used to assault Arbery. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, Mr. Arbery is under attack by all 3 of these men, she said. Dunikowski said the defendants had wrongly assumed the worst about Arbery, thinking he was fleeing from a crime when all he was doing was going out for a jog.
Wow, that's bad, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's come to some local news, Banajan. Morgan Hill Police this week issued a warning on social media about credit card skimmers they found on ATMs at 2 different locations in Morgan Hill over the past few weeks. On October 13th, officers responded to the report of a credit card skimmer at the Bank of America branch at 200 Cochrane Plaza, police said. Upon arrival, officers were directed to a skimmer on one of the bank's ATMs and they seized the device. On November 2nd, they responded to World Gas Station at 1620 Monterey Road, where they found a skimmer attached to an ATM inside a station's mini mart, police said. The police are warning residents and visitors to be on the lookout for skimmers on ATMs and gas pumps whenever using a credit card or a debit card at these locations. Also, speaking of crime in retail locations, a sergeant with the San Francisco Police Department has been arrested after he was suspected of robbing a Rite Aid in San Mateo. Wednesday, police officials have said San Francisco Police Sergeant David L. Cole tried to flee on foot from the Rite Aid store on Concord Drive, but responding officers captured and arrested him on suspicion of robbery, according to San Mateo Police. He was off duty at that time. Cole was out on bond as of Thursday. San Francisco police officials have told news sources that Cole joined the department in 1994, and he was mostly recently assigned to field operations. He's been paid on unpaid leave pending an internal investigation. Water rising beneath the ground, pushed up by the intruding salt water as sea levels rise, now impacts thousands of toxic waste sites throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. A 6-month investigation by NBC found that the threat from rising groundwater isn't decades in the future, but in some cases may be imminent. In many hotspots from North Bay to South Bay, UC Berkeley scientists told news reporters that they've recorded groundwater already at or near the surface. Aside from the threat of floods, the water may bring with it a host of toxins from sites the investigative unit documented years ago as part of the legacy of Silicon Valley: toxic chemicals, liquids, solids, gases long buried underground. And experts are saying that these toxic chemicals can seep into homes and businesses during a storm, a high water event, or even as groundwater rises. So that's another issue. A 31-year-old woman has been accused of killing her newborn and discarding her baby in a Paris trash receptacle, and she has made her initial court appearance this Wednesday. Brittany Suzanne P.V. House of Paris was arrested on Friday following a months-long Riverside County Sheriff's Department investigation where she's being charged with murder, and she appeared before Superior Court Judge Gail Orane, who appointed the woman a public defender and scheduled arraignment for November 19th at the Riverside Hall of Justice. That was news from across the country and also here locally in the Bay Area. Banjan, will we do a Gane Ka Kida before we go to world news, Altababa?
Well, we can actually jump into the world news right now because we can wrap up with the Gane Ka Kida for you guys, Banjan. So here you go. This is the world news for what's happening around the world.
Well, Banjan, for those of you who are following what's going on in Hong Kong...
what's happening in Hong Kong? Something new about Hong Kong?
Well, the fact that China has made sure that any anti-government or anti-establishment critics are all very seriously, any anti-establishment person is being detained or they're being moved back to mainland China. Now, last month, several thousand Hong Kong university students, some of them under the watch of a CCTV camera, were the first to take compulsory courses on the territory's national security law. The content of these courses, some of which Reuters has exclusively seen, sets out the dangers of breaking the law.
Wow.
In one case, demonstrating how a message in a chat group could be interpreted as a serious breach punishable up to life in prison.
Wow.
At the Hong Kong Baptist University, at least one CCTV camera was present in the lecture hall, while an unidentified photographer took pictures, according to 2 students who attended. The courses represent an attack on academic freedom in Hong Kong's Western-style university education system, critics have said. In principle, making requirements on particular classes in a very serious infringement of academic freedom, said Katrin Kinzelbach, a political scientist at the University of Erlangen-Nuremberg in Germany, who has conducted extensive research into academic freedom at universities around the world. Academic freedom means you may study and teach what you're interested in. It also means the freedom to not engage in some particular classes. But this particular class, which is based on Hong Kong's national security law imposed by Beijing last year, itself stipulates that national security must be taught in schools and universities.
Otherwise, they tell them what they're not supposed to do. Banjan.
Yeah. So it's basically to make sure that they're always intimidated and they're always threatened to stay in their place, right?
And that's what the liberal media will say. But in our show, as you know, the unseen voice actually is always saying that liberal media. But again, look at both sides. But they're trying to just make sure that they are staying in line. If you don't know the fence is there, you're bound to jump into the fence, Father.
It's not only happening in Hong Kong, but China will make people who support Taiwan independence also criminally liable for life.
Exactly. Now, if at all they didn't know there was a barrier, they'll go bump into the barrier. So they know there's a barrier. Awareness is the key thing. They're trying to tell them, hey, you're fenced in. Let us keep you in the fence or keep you in the jail, wherever you're going to be there, restricted, right?
A spokeswoman for China's Taiwan Affairs Office has said on Friday, drawing anger from the island amid heightened tension across the sensitive Taiwan Strait. This is the first time that China has spelt out concretely punishment for people deemed to be pro-Taiwan independence as tensions rise between China and the self-ruled island Beijing claims as its own. What is wrong with China? What are they trying to do?
They're just trying to survive. They're trying to make their way of living the right way of living. What's wrong with that? My goodness. Didn't Trump do the same thing to us over here? Think about it, Balajan. What? Now you laugh about it.
It's nothing to laugh about. It's something to cry about.
No, it's something to laugh about. Exactly. It's everything to laugh about. That's exactly what's going to happen. If you don't actually have they should actually be, you know what democracy is all about, right?
Yeah, what?
Democracy is about when both the parties are not happy with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
If one party is happy,
Yeah.
it actually is not democracy anymore.
Well,
So, if the Democrats get a hold of the nation,
yeah.
we still are not happy, right? So
I
we got to
don't
find
know.
the happy medium somewhere, somewhere like, it's like, okay, fine, a little bit of happiness.
But you know what? I have a feeling the way it's going right now, do you think there could be the launch of another war? Because China has not ruled out for using force to bring Taiwan under its control, apparently.
Well, you think China has not already flexed its muscle in terms of new kind of warfare?
They've already done that in Hong Kong, right? They did that in Hong Kong.
Just imagine one thing, the whole world is living a life of fear.
Yes. In fact, even in Ethiopia, right, the anti-government group that has caused that coup, right, they also are threatening to bring down the Ethiopian government, and they're making sure that they're going to, that they're going to form a new government, so to speak. So,
Hey, but with all those things, don't worry, we still have the make-believe world of cinema to always entertain us, and so we're going to go get ourselves entertained.
oh, what
this
make-believe
evening.
world of cinema, Al-Tuba? Even the people in the world of cinema are really
No.
struggling.
Now the international media is wooing Shah Rukh Khan for an interview about his son.
Yeah.
So it is going to become so big that you'll understand how people with money are going to be untouchable totally.
Well, zonal director Samir Wankhede, who has been probing the Mumbai drug bust case, has reportedly been removed now from his role as the lead investigator in which Shah Rukh Khan's son, Aryan Khan, was accused. Now, sources are saying that the central zone from Delhi is going to take over the case, while Wankhede continues to just be the zonal head.
The reason being, the zonal head was under the control of the state government, and the state government are the people who actually stopped the whole process. Let's see what the national thing is going to say about it.
Buzz is that instead of Wankhede, Sanjay Singh of the the Narcotics Bureau will now be the supervising officer of the 5 cases, including the Aryan Khan case, and the case transferred as a vigilance probe is underway and due to certain allegations on Samir Wankhede, is what they're saying. And also, Banajan, in the India is doing really well. India versus Scotland highlights of the T20 World Cup. India crushed Scotland by 8 wickets to stay in contention. And also, Jasprit Bumrah becomes India's leading wicket taker in men's T20 international series. So, you get more information about all this on mediamahima.com. That's all we have time for. Here is the Ganega Kira of the movie that's released today, Bandujan. Starring Akshay Kumar, Ajay Devgan, and Ranveer Singh. This is from Surya Vanshi. Aya Police!
Delta! Have a fantastic Friday, बच्चा मिलते हैं आपको हम शाम को 5 बजे.
सत श्री अकाल, की हो रहा है? मैं सूर्यवंशी अक्षय कुमार, टीम सूर्यवंशी की तरफ से दिवाली की ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। Watch my film Suryavanshi with your family on November 5th. I'd like to wish a very, very happy Diwali to all the listeners of Radio Dakar.